Lancers, so the 10th anniversary special co-op quest is officially here. It's our tried and true co-op event that happens every anniversary. Most of the time nowadays even happens outside of an anniversary. So if you played in past co-op events, you know exactly what to expect here. If you are new though, the way this event does work is that you play it multiple times in the hopes to get lucky drops. A lot of the tickets immediately that you use in this event is going to be wasted, but every now and then, hopefully, one would like to say so, you're going to hit the jackpot and potentially walk away with 1,000 summon tickets. That's not guaranteed, but that's the idea when it comes to playing this event for basically the next 2 weeks' time. Now, with that though, there are other reasons to play the event. At least do the bare minimum in case you don't want to farm this. So for example, if you do complete the quest upwards to 150 times, you can get yourself a 5-star summon ticket that you might as well use because it does pull from every premium character in the game. Someone might walk away with a 10th anniversary character. But also, most importantly, finally, we've now gotten we do actually get a new 5-star version of Con, a technique version. So with that, everyone playing this event should be able to get an additional 125 spirit orbs for maxing out this character's level. And if you have been playing since the start of the game, you now have access to a Con in every single attribute. Now with that too, the drops are also a tad bit different compared to past events. Traditionally, it's pretty much just been the go-to event for super links or potions, droplets, and also EXP crystals. And while that's also true and still the case for this event, we also can get pretty much every transcendent item in terms of golden affiliation scrolls, silver affiliation scrolls, and also all the attribute scrolls. Pretty much making this the perfect event for a new account starting during the 10th anniversary. Realistically and unfortunately, the only thing really missing it is essence scrolls. I would have loved if essence scrolls were available. But there's a lot of items that you can get from this event, and to make it easier, what you want to mainly do is use the new 10th anniversary characters, either Ichigo or Rukia. By using them, you are getting a 50% extra stage increase. Remember, the drop rate itself is low, so you're not guaranteed an extra stage despite having a full route of max bonus. But if you have Ichigo and Rukia, definitely go ahead and use them. If you don't, next best option is to use any of these characters, the 25% bonuses. Now, personally, with these events, I have 2 main recommendations. First up, even though I'm not doing it myself, if you want to get extra guaranteed value per soul ticket, it's best to bring characters with links or potion soul traits. Like I said, the nature of this event is that it's RNG. You're constantly using tickets until you get lucky. A lot of times, though, you aren't going to get lucky, and you're going to get pretty much nothing from an individual soul ticket. So that's why having characters like Menino, for example, that can give you an extra 5 hard super links or potions, using them isn't a bad idea because you're getting guaranteed value per soul ticket, and that adds up over time if you are farming this event a lot. You don't need to. Personally, I'm kind of fine with just using standard links, but optimally, that's definitely the best way to farm it because the event itself is relatively easy. You don't need all this extra damage output. Also, most importantly, what you want to do if you are hosting your own room is set rules. The main one is set a level cap, because if you find yourself hosting a lobby and no one's joining, it's because there's so many rooms being opened, your lobby is appearing right at the bottom because you haven't set room rules. Those that do have rules are prioritized in the order. And it really is just the level cap, but if you also want to guarantee yourself an Ichigo and Rukia to join your lobby, you can just make these rules too. This will pretty much guarantee it so it's only ever Ichigo and Rukia, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. So with that said, let's do 4 more runs. I want to do it on the channel in the potential chance we actually get lucky with our initial runs during the video. Now, thus far, I have done around 120 runs, so 120 soul tickets worth around 130, and I've gotten a few decent drops. Nothing super crazy. Again, the big thing here that isn't displayed in the rewards is the fact that you can get summon tickets, and you actually get 1 more summon ticket than usual, which is kind of funny, right? Over the years with these events, the number that we do get is corresponding to the anniversary. So during the 7th anniversary, you would get 77 summon tickets. 8th anniversary was 88, 9th anniversary, and pretty much the last year it's been 99. And now if you do get summon tickets, because that is possible, you do get 100 summon tickets or upwards to 1,000 summon tickets if you're really lucky. And it's happened to me in the past twice. In fact, it happened early this year during the 100 million download celebration co-op quest. So my idea with this anniversary right now is pretty much farm this for the next 2 weeks. Might as well. I'm also starting a new account, which we might be summoning on the channel later today. And I'm going to build that account up. And one of the ways we are going to do that is by pretty much taking them into this event. So if you are a new player, I would definitely recommend doing that because you can just stack up on a lot of resources. Even if right now, for example, we didn't get too lucky. So we got a bronze extra stage. We got 100 super links or potions, droplets, and also again some transcendent items. So again, pretty cool that they did add these. But let's jump into our second room. Now, I'm pretty sure I already showed the build, but the way I built my Ichigo is just by giving him accessories that can increase his movement speed. just to speed up the process. And, you know, you can pretty much use any character you want, Ichigo or Rukia, assuming you have both. I'm choosing to use Ichigo because he has more AoEs in front of him, if that kind of makes sense. His SA1 is a beam, and his SA2 does lunge him forward. So I feel like right now, if it matters all that much, I'm not too sure. I want to use Ichigo just to make the run a tad bit faster, especially as the host. You can see that we actually got into the next room more so a tad bit faster, thanks to the fact that I am using those movement accessories that can increase my speed, you know? But it would be great if we can get an extra stage, especially if we could potentially get the 100 summon tickets on camera, right? I've done it during streams. Again, the last time this event was here during the 100 million downloads, I did get the 1,000 summon tickets, or 999, on my lead up to the 150 runs for the achievements or the challenges event orders. But I've never been able to get like a really good drop during our initial runs for the video. So we've now officially beat this event 150 times. So we are going to get the 5-star ticket and use it at the end of the video. Let's do like 2 more runs though. So first up, nothing there, nothing there. Again, you are at least getting the Hogaku, so if you need those, good for you, you know? Not to say it's guaranteed, but almost every ticket here actually gives us either a Hogaku or a Hogaku will. Alright then, so jumping into our next run, we only 3 Ichigos right here, but there was a 4th one that DC'd during the loading screen. So even though someone DC'd, we still do get the max rewards. It still counts them being in the lobby. So unfortunately, our chance of getting an extra stage here hasn't been lowered due to that disconnect. So we did actually get an extra stage here due to the map area. I believe this is going to be a bronze one. Yeah, so we had Uru, Jinta, and Kisuke. A lot of times you aren't going to see the extra stage that you do get. It will likely be in the other tickets unless you do get lucky and get it in the first run. But you can see we basically just got the bronze extra stage, the worst. I would assume the best extra stage is the one that features the new 10th anniversary characters. So if you see them appear, I'm assuming it is those 2 characters. That's going to be the one to get excited for because that could offer you a lot of rewards. From what I'm seeing too, it doesn't look like the transcendent items are taking away from what you usually get. It's kind of just additive. So you could potentially walk away like 1,000 summon tickets and then just a bunch of extra items. Again, if you get lucky, that's like the whole purpose of this event. But, you know, if you play it enough, hopefully you do, right? I've been lucky quite in the past too, without grinding too much. So that was our first run. Decent stuff there. Nothing too crazy. Unfortunately, nothing here, but some people in the lobby did bring links or characters, so we were at least get some extra value, at least per ticket. Alright, so in this case, we have 2 Rukias and 2 Ichigos. Don't think that's going to matter much on our clear time, but it's fine. The main thing is that they are bonus, and that's why personally I did set my rules the way they are. It's kind of toxic, you know. That's the nature of these events though. So if you are someone that is in a very unfortunate situation where you don't have a 50% bonus, I always recommend hosting your lobbies. I think hosting your lobbies in general are just better because you don't have to rely on joining a room that might instantly be filled up. If you host your own lobby, you set room rules, everyone joins you instantly, and you get to decide the rules too, right? So like I said, if you make the rules where you need poise break, and if you set it to Soripa's, power, and mind, you're pretty much guaranteed only Ichigo and Rukias in your lobby. But even without like doing those specifics, affiliation or skill requirements, most likely everyone, hopefully, does have Ichigo and Rukia, and they likely are going to join with those bonuses. So even though there's only 2 50% bonuses, it shouldn't be that bad because this is the banner everyone should be summoning on part 1. Even though part 2 is limited and that will be getting announced in less than 2 days time, I would still recommend summoning on part 1. It has really good value outside of course, the anniversary character. So can we get anything good in this video? It doesn't seem like it. Alright, so our final run in this case, only 2 people now. Again, once more, disconnections happen during the loading screen. That also happens a lot during these events where there's a lot of co-op rooms being open. Sometimes if you see yourself joining a lobby and you notice that the host is stuck on 0%, it might seem like the host has disconnected, but it's actually you that is stopping the room from being opened. So I guess some advice, right? If you do notice the loading screen is just lasting a bit too long and the host is stuck at 0%, you're better off just closing the app and just starting a new lobby. You don't waste any soul tickets, and for the most part, it seems like you're the one potentially keeping the room open, if that kind of makes sense. But hey, 2 Ichigos is enough. Are we already into the final stage? We are. No extra stage in our first ticket. That's fine, though. That's fine. Maybe Rukia would be faster. I'm not sure. I haven't tested who's actually the faster character. I assumed Ichigo would be better because of his strong attacks, but he is also a ranged unit, and ranged units in general are slower when it comes to autoing. They auto safer, but they are also slower when it comes to easier content. So for our final run, did we get anything? Let's find out. So first ticket, no. I got a bronze extra stage there. Nothing too crazy for the video, unfortunately, but hey, we tested our luck. We're definitely going to be doing some live streams later this week, maybe in the coming days, where the stream isn't going to end until we get that jumper haul and get the really lucky extra stage. But like I said, at the bare minimum, definitely do this event 150 times to get the 5-star ticket, and if for some reason you get unlucky, to guarantee yourself a Technicon. So with that, let's go ahead and use it. Again, it's just a normal 5-star summon ticket. It can guarantee you any premium character in the game. So chances are we aren't going to get anything super great here, especially like a useful dupe. But hey, imagine. How close is that to Rukia though? It's Soden and Shirayuki. That's kind of, it's not a good summon. It's not a good summon, but it's kind of cool, I guess, because it is related to Rukia. I'm trying to make myself feel better for this 5-star summon ticket. I didn't really amount to anything. And I got this character so many times during my ticket summons the last couple of days. So like I said, now we officially have a con in every single attribute. Technique, speed, power, mind, and also heart. If you played during all these events, you can actually max transcend all the cons besides the heart version, because this was given out during the very first anniversary of the global server. So this is like the super rare one. But again, most importantly, it is 125 free spirit dubs, so we gladly take some of those. So like always, it's definitely an event I recommend farming. Ultimately comes down to you how much soul tickets you want to spend this event. But if you are deciding whether you should farm this or the point event, make sure you get to 50 million points on the point event, at least 5 million to get the special move source, and then probably just dump the rest of your tickets onto this event while it's active, because point events will always be here. And remember, if you pulled Ichigo and Rukia, they appear to potentially max bonuses until the end of December, so no harm. You don't have to rush the point event. Farm it as much as you can, because of the hypothetical that you might not have bonuses in the future. Because if you have Ichigo and Rukia, you should be fine. It's a great event for new and middle tier players. For endgame veteran accounts that have already farmed all their items, probably don't need to do too much, just do the 150 and quit. But that ultimately comes down to you. I'll definitely be farming this in the hopes to get the summon tickets. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know how much you farmed already. Have you got some lucky? I'm curious to know. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.